Come as you are, Peter Gizzi writes in Dissociadelic, collapsing and thriving with endings like beginnings. How do we mark an ending that is caught in the continual loop of its re-beginning? And in what ways might we come to a world increasingly pushed to the horizon of its own collapse? I'm Eira Murphy, one of this year's T.S. Eliot Young Critics, and I'm reviewing Peter Gizzi's Fierce Elegy, a collection that claims elegy as the formal site for an understanding of the world and its myriad complex losses. An awareness of a state of constant loss, the fierceness of the heart, and questions around what it means to occupy poetic language are all at play in this collection, which takes for its starting point the poem Find Spot Unknown, a phrase granted to archaeological objects without provenance. The poem, and the collection as a whole, announces itself from the space of tantalizingly unknowable blankness. Elegy arrives, Gizzi writes here, out of nothing, reconfiguring nothingness as active presence, absence that invites interaction and attention. The mystery of the poem object's emergence into the world is set alongside the hazy crystallization of a poetic eye, its sudden appearance, a beast-like shadow in the glass. Just what constitutes the self is answered over and over again throughout Fierce Elegy with collectivity and relationality. Find Spot Unknown ends with the lines, I am talking about people and the night, people inside the night and what we are made of. Night functions as a kind of underworld carried within the self, populated by those lost things and people that thread themselves into the poem. The final tightly enjambed lines sum up Gizzi's sense of what it might mean to occupy the elegiac eye and the world itself. Inhabited and haunted, autobiography is suspended in favour of a litany of echoes, outlasting me, as Gizzi writes in the later poem Nimbus. It's a powerfully moving idea, and one that is returned to in Spooky Action, another scientific title that refers to the idea of quantum entanglement. Expanding on Gizzi's Night, here space and ideas of quantum time operate as a way of thinking through triangulations of loss, distance, and forms of intimacy. Quantum entanglement speaks directly to what Gizzi conceives his poetry to be, entangled, existing always in an interwoven relation with other voices, other times and places, and built around what he terms in this poem as a dark tenderness. Spooky Action ends, quiet, intimate, sprung, exciting the sorceries in me, to be unleashed as a verb, free to twirl, to disco, to walk away undone. Poetry and language here is sorcery, intimate and sprung, generating energy in its twirling, discoing action that remains undone, caught in the swirl of entanglement that refuses to approach loss through a position of detachment. This idea of speaking from a place of undoing, the yesterday of today, as Gizzi writes in I Am Who Sent Me, is claimed formally in Of the Air. This strange elliptical poem is punctuated by asterisks, typographical boundary points or pauses that also mark breaks between poems throughout the collection. Picking up the celestial shape of the star and its dance between light and darkness, these asterisks mark a kind of elsewhere as they gesture towards something that remains absent from the page. Of the Air seems to reference the form of Gizzi's 2018 poem Ship of State, written from the perspective of a corpse and built around short elliptical phrases. Of the Air's lines arrive to the reader almost severed, dragging a sense of incompleteness with them. Consider these lines from its opening section. Speaking of a voice, to know it better, I understood. And a little later, does this mean house and midnight, the windows? What is understood, the voice known better, is left in a place of suspension, replaced by the imagistic house and midnight, the windows. Words function as intimate gestures towards an inwardness that remains partially hidden, language chipped from Elegy's dark silences. In the collection's final long poem, Consider the Wound, Gizzi's first lines reframe Carlos Williams's famous No Ideas But in Things as No Ideas But in Wounds, I is that wound. Poetic selfhood performs at this wound as chiasmus, a place of threshold encounter, testifying both to visible rupture and point of connection. Exit and entrance point, I becomes punctum, a collective space that works to make loss legible. Consider the wound ends with a statement of hungering desire. I want new vistas, visions, earth in my mouth, a collective breath, sweet noise of becoming. Here is perhaps the clearest moment of a transformative fierceness that turns towards the world. The poem continues, death is happening, all that was left is where I am now. The temporal shift towards the poem's unsteady present now, notably un-end-stopped, leaves us in a present that is constantly in motion, caught in the loop of the now's decay and regeneration. In many ways, for Gizzi's fierce elegy, there is no final resting place. The poem continues, generating a temporality wound and sprung with present absences, and speaking a language bound up with ghostly affiliations.